All right. Well, it's a 7:01. Thank you all for joining us on this Thursday. This is our second Silverton High School Town Hall meeting as we begin to open up this fall. I want to just first thank everyone from the last time that we had this Town Hall meeting to today. There are continuous changes and continuous updates, and we appreciate everybody their tolerance and understanding as we navigate these waters. I keep saying that I feel like we watched this movie before. It's a continuous evolution of a lot of things that are happening right now, and we have a lot of information. And we were also contemplating whether or not we had enough information to share with you this evening. I know some other schools had canceled or postponed their town hall meeting. We will be diligent in aligning our meetings so we're not overlapping. We also will make efforts in ensuring that we get the links and the dates out to everyone earlier. We're getting our cadence and our feet under us as well. So thank you guys for your understanding. A few thank yous as we get started. Well, actually, we did this before, but let's not neglect to do it again. Again, Sione Thompson, your principal, welcome. And we'll ask James, Jody, and Patrick to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Good evening, folks. Again, my name is James Rise. For those that I haven't had a pleasure to meet, thank you for being on here tonight. I serve as an assistant principal as long as the athletic director here at the high school. So welcome in tonight, and thanks for being here.
Hi, everybody. Jody Drescher, assistant principal at the high school, and good to see you all.
And hi there, Patrick Mulligan, the other assistant principal and new to Silver Falls School District, and hello to those that I haven't met, and hello again to those that I have virtually met.
Yeah, thank you guys. I want to say, send out a big thank you. Today, the Apple Tree School Surplus Drive. Very, very proud to say that we had many of our Silverton High students who partook, and they were the ones that went out and solicited various businesses and organizations. We have over 6 boxes of school supplies and across the district, many other supplies that went out to all the other schools. So we really want to thank the Silverton Together, the Apple Tree School Supplies Drive. And I'd be remiss if I didn't share the 28th annual community picnic, which will be held tomorrow. Just wanted to put in a plug for that as well. So again, thank you. We're going to share some updates, follow-ups on last week. And again, there are things that are being developed right now as we speak. So if we're not answering all of your questions, we will get to them as we are updated as well. So one of the updates, I also want to thank everybody who took advantage of our registration drive-through, standing out there and seeing some faces and the excitement of our kiddos and parents and everyone ready to come back to school. Really had a great opportunity to meet a lot of folks, great community. If you did not take advantage of the drive-through registration, you will have that opportunity on the first day of your students' day. So for freshmen, that'll be the 7th. And for all other students, that'll be on the 8th. And what that'll look like is that you will need to go directly to the counseling center with a completed registration form. Now, if you do not have a registration form, please contact us directly, contact our main office. Someone will assist you and walk you through that process. Note that all of the forms require guardian signature. There is some important information that we need filled out on those forms. Some medical information, there's a checkbox for field trips and whatnot, but we need guardianship signature on those forms. Also, picture retakes. Picture retakes will be available at a later date. We are working out with the photographer and their company a time and a date where our students can come back and take retakes. So more details forthcoming. Updated schedules. So those who came through registration and got a schedule, some have a shell of a schedule, others have a full-fledged schedule, and some things will still be manipulated. And if you need to change classes or courses for whatever individual reason you may have, updated schedules will be given to students on their first day of school. Now, a question that came out is some of the students, or when will the AGs when will the students know who their AG is? So we'll have both updated schedules as I shared, and at the first day of school, we'll also at specific locations have a list of students and their AGs. So when they walk into the building, they can find that as well in the morning. Fees, a lot of questions around fees. Fees are available online. If you go under the parent tab on our website, then click the pay student fees, and you will need to log in with your student ID and follow the instructions on that tab. The password is student's last name with uppercase first letter. Yeah. If you didn't catch all of that, just please call the front office. Again, someone will assist you and will walk you through that process. But it's an easy process. If you so choose, you can pay your fees online. Let's see. Questions we had, we want to reiterate that our schedule, our new school day has been pushed. We will begin our first period of the day at 8:45. And the question is, when will the building be open? Again, our building, we will open it at 8 a.m. Between the time period of 8 a.m. and 8:35, students will remain in the commons area and the adjoining areas for overflow as needed. That's where we will be providing supervision. We are looking right now at covering and tables in the corridor just adjacent to the commons. So we're looking at some of those opportunities for coverings. It could be a tent, it could be other methods of covering in order to extend that space that we'll have available. That'll also go into some of our lunch, what we'll talk about in a little while as well. Mask mandate, again, we are required in all district buildings at all times, as well as the school day activities. And when we are outside, when social distancing cannot be maintained. So that was an update from the last town hall meeting, that masks are required in the buildings as well as outside when we are not able to maintain social distancing. I'll ask Ms. Drescher if she can kind of share a little bit more about some of the masks as it pertains to dress code.
Hi, everybody. So I think this is a pretty easy question, in that with respect to dress code, just like with t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, we just ask that it be appropriate in nature, that it not include any reference to alcohol, drugs, or any innuendo, those types of things, same types of things that we ask for t-shirts and sweatshirts and the like. So that's pretty simple, but if you have any questions, I want you to please feel free to email me directly, and I will do my best to answer within 24 hours or less.
Mr. Thompson, you're on mute.
You would think by now we'd be able to do this correct. Okay, thank you. I'm going to have Mr. Rice, if you can, give an update on athletics and activities, please.
Absolutely. First of all, I also want to do, just as far as housekeeping goes, For those that might have some questions that they want to throw into the Q&A, there is that option down there at the bottom. We may not be able to get to all of the questions that are submitted tonight, but those that we feel like we can get to and answer with with an answer that we feel like is on solid ground, we will absolutely do that tonight. If we feel like that there are some that we may not have an answer for, we will get back to you folks and or post things onto the website. So as far as athletics go, I first want to say thank you to all of those folks that jumped on with us last night. Last week on the athletic call, we had about 85, I think, or so folks. Then last night we were upwards of 45 or so. So again, thank you to those folks that jumped on there. The two big keys that I think that we kind of touched on last night were we want to do whatever we can to provide a robust experience both on the athletic and activity side of things, while also doing what we can to mitigate risk. The OHA has set out some pretty clear guidelines that are separate from what the school day looks like in comparison to what we can do on the athletic side of things. And so I won't go into all of that, but the specific one that I did want to touch on tonight is for spectators. So as a high school team, with support of our district office, we have made the decision to do what we can to police what we feel like we can when spectators are at events. And so with the guidelines, we will be requiring all spectators to be in a mask and face covering for events indoors and outdoors. Again, what the mandate says is that if we cannot ensure 6-foot distancing, then masks are required. We feel like as a team that we don't have the ability to police that 6 feet and be consistent with that. So for all of our events, again, indoors and outdoors, that's volleyball, soccer's, cross-country events, football events, of course. For all of our events, when folks come to our facilities, when they enter, they will be required to have a face covering on. So that was the big point from last night. Again, just as a reminder, silvertonfoxes.com is our athletics website. That's where we have all of our schedules. That's where we post updates as things change on the athletic side of things. So again, that's silvertonfoxes.com. There's also a link directly to our athletics website from our main high school page. So if there are sports specific questions, please feel free to email me and or reach out to the athletic department by phone. Again, we will try to get back to you as quickly as we can. I've had a number of calls in the last week and had some great conversations with some family members, and we will continue to do that as long as we can. So again, we will try to continue to post or host town halls on the athletic side weekly as updates and things need to be shared. So again, feel free to contact us whenever you need to, and or be aware of silvertonfoxes.com. Thank you.
Let's see, I did hit the button. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Rice. Appreciate that. Moving on, we'll talk a little bit about transportation. If you put in a transportation request, it has been given to the transportation department. They're working on routes. They will be sharing with families via the district website before the start of school. So just want to make you aware of the transportation update. Student handbooks. We've been asked about student handbooks. We are working on updating the student handbook, including adding some of the new protocols that will be in place. So this will be available online the first week of school, paper copies. We will be sure to make those available upon request. Again, just as we've done in the past, a guardian signature, a page acknowledging the receipt and viewing and reading and comprehension of the student handbook is going to be required, and that will be submitted through the student's AG class. The food and services. So a lot of questions around food and services. We understand. So all meals this year, of course, are going to be no cost to families. So just wanted to be sure that that is clear. What are the questions we kept getting? How will my student receive their food? So As technical as we can be, we'll share with you the protocol that's been used in the past as well. As in the past, students will need to provide their student ID number. Now, that can be done in various ways until such time that we have the IDs in hand. We will have a process in order to have the student IDs pass through the line, scanned and accounted for. Breakfast, question of how early will breakfast be served? As soon as we open the doors at 8 a.m., breakfast service will begin. Lunch, through the bell schedule, similar to the past 7-period day, there will be 2 lunches that are staggered. It'll be based on the 4th period of the day. Lunch is split between the student body, and this is to accommodate the numbers that will be hosting in the commons area, as well as some overflow area, possibly outside once we get appropriate coverings. First lunch, we'll break it up as classes that are located on the 1st floor, E-wing and CTE building. That will be the first rotation. Those students will have first lunch on the schedule. The second rotation, the second lunch will be the classes located on the 2nd floor, the gym, the C and D wing. Where will we be having students eat and supervised? The commons and the adjoining areas, possibly depending on the weather, we may have overflow into other sectors of the wings and the hallways. If need be, we may open up the overflow gym, but we are very much looking forward to having tents and coverings outside connected to the commons, where we'll be able to provide seating as well in those areas. Again, off-campus lunch is allowable. Just to make sure we reiterate that late returnees will come into the main entrance near the flagpole and check into the attendance office. So we're highly encouraging those that will be eating lunch off campus to get their timing down to ensure that they're back to their classes on time. I think we also have a few questions that we are here that we want to address. We will be looking at ways, it is our desire to make sure that we have all of the resources the school has available, including microwaves, but we will need to look and ask the medical experts the best way that we'll be handling that based upon the numbers in our building. So we will be doing that over the next few days, and we'll have answers for you on that. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through some of the questions.
There's one, Mr. Thompson, that I can kind of cover real quick.
Yeah, please.
Someone had asked around the plans and so the protocols for some of the pieces to post. It actually is already posted for the school district. If you go to the Silver Falls District website, there's a link right there on the homepage, and it actually links both to the Safe Return in-person continuity services plan and the specific communicable disease management plan that's there for the school district. And then as buildings, we then implement those pieces into our procedures of what works within our communities. So that's one of the pieces we're doing, is taking those that are submitted to the state and then making those pieces play out within our own building. So for those that want to see that they're asking, it is posted on the Silver Falls School District website. You can find it right there in one of the first links under reopening schools.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mulligan. As well, we have a question. What is the preparation? What is the plan if we need to go towards distance learning? So again, we had put our priority and our focus into 5 days in person. That's not to say, well, let me take a step back. Many of the teachers over this past summer break have been working diligently building their curriculum maps, and we're going through that process in ensuring a viable curriculum. That being said, we will also be spending dedicated time this next week towards uploading and updating Canvas to ensure that we have a platform that if we need to pivot, we can use. Now, where we have to spend a little bit more diligence with is how and the methodology of how we deliver what we have, that content through distance learning, through technology. So we will be working on that. We'll be working through these next week with teachers. Teachers will be back together, working with each other, collaborating, and getting a lot of the things necessary for us to pivot if we have to, ready this next week. So that is the gearing up and preparation. Let's see, any other questions anybody else can answer on the panel that you see?
Just real quick, there was another question to clarify. Lunch will be based off your 4th period class. So yes, that is correct. Again, for those folks that may have not received their schedule yet, just know that lunch, either whether you're in first lunch or second lunch, will be based off your 4th period class.
And that is because of the later start time.
Thank you. Will Silverton High School continue to host regular vaccinations? I do believe that we were looking at dates. If they're not readily available, we will be posting that, those access times and points for you.
Another one too, Mr. Thompson, someone asked, yes, similar to the elementary schools, we will be having one-to-one devices. That means that every student will have a device, will be a Chromebook that they will then be taking with them when they leave every day. And partly this answers, I know another question someone had asked around the plan for a protocol for maybe those that might have been exposed or quarantined. We work closely with our health and nursing staff, as well as our county nursing staff and folks. And so we have that's in that plan that is posted online, but following their guidance on days and lengths that students may have to be isolated at home. But that's why, like Mr. Thompson shared, having Canvas and the students having the one-to-one devices, we can try to minimize the disruption so that they'll still be provided and have education even while being isolated at home before they return back to the building.
Okay, and I can address the specific protocols regarding airflow and ventilation for Silverton High School. We're fortunate and we recognize that. We are in a relatively new building that's beautiful, and our air handlers in that situation, that entire program has been checked out and it meets the standards to mitigate the spread of COVID. So even given that, we have encouraged teachers at different times to open their windows if they choose to do that with doors. So, but our air handlers are up to code for handling the situation.
Thanks so much, Ms. Drescher. So we do have a question that I want to make sure that we clarify. Great question. Freshmen start September 7th. Sophomores, juniors, seniors start on the 8th. Freshmen start on the 7th and they go to school every day after that. It's not the freshmen on the 7th and then they don't go to school on the 8th, and that's only the sophomore, juniors, and seniors. Great clarification question. We are not in a rotation schedule. So freshmen are in on the 7th going forward, then the 8th, everyone. So just want to make sure that that's clear. Thank you for that question. What is the plan to maintain 3 feet social distance at the school? We're going to take all of the measures that we can. We are walking the hallways, ensuring that we have clear paths. We're looking at classroom seating arrangement. We will do our best to distance 3 feet to the extent that we can. We do know that there will be times that we will be unable to distance with 3 feet. And we will be cognizant of mask wearing, direction facing, and also allowing for mask breaks. So we will be doing some of that discussion and during the lunch period and during passing. We will be sure to, based upon the number of students that are in each class as we go through transitions, we are looking at keeping directional, staying to one side of the hallway as we pass, and making sure that there is some distance in that as well. So we have another one. Given, yeah, this is a really good one. Given the high rate of transmission, hearing that other districts and schools have, and other states have either delayed or changed the method of their delivery of education. At this point, we will be taking direction and directives for any delay in school or change in methodology. We will be waiting to see if there's any directive on that. As of right now, there is no directive, and we are not planning to delay the start of school.
We have another one, Mr. Thompson. So someone was asking around longer breaks in between classes. So we are going to be going with a 7-period a day with 5-minute passing time. That being said, however, we do have some time that we've added some additional breaks, as well as some time with our AG days, our advisory days, to be able to give students sort of that mask break if needed. And like Mr. Thompson shared, we're working on that protocol and process to safely be able to give students if they need that break. But it will be a 7-period day with the 5-minute passing time like normal.
Thank you. And again, I'm sure this is really frustrating to hear. It's frustrating for all of the adults. I want to just commend all of our educators for the tremendous amount of work that they're putting in, things that they're thinking about and doing for what's best for your children once they're here. All of our educators, I'm sure, want to be back in person. They want to be here as safe as possible, to have that direct contact and teaching and learning to occur. That being said, we know that we have to be cognizant that things will change, things may change, and when they do, and if they do, we will be ready to pivot. And when those times come, know that we have some experience, and we have to draw on those experiences in order to ensure that we can do the best that we can. And we really appreciate all of our parents and community who've come out and showed tremendous amount of support for all of the things that we're starting to implement. And then again, if we need to pivot again, your patience with that. So let's see if we have a few more questions in there that we think that we can answer. We're at 7:30 now. We hope to have a few more questions answered, and in respect with everybody's time, we're probably going to end it a little bit early today, because again, we are receiving information today, as well as our district. So we'll go back to the board, see what other information we're receiving, and see if there's anything different that we need to share with you. If there's anything that's extremely pertinent between now and next Thursday, which our next town hall meeting will be, we'll be sure to email blast and post on Parent Square if there are any major changes.
Mr. Thompson, can I cover one of the email questions that were sent in earlier, just about our protocol once we get a potential exposure? So this goes for on the athletic side of things, activity side of things, and in a regular school day. If and when we are made aware of a potential exposure and or a positive case, we work directly with our district nursing folks, who also in turn work directly with the Marion County Health Department. Once there's a potential exposure or a positive case, basically we are taking guidance and letting the Marion County Health Department take point on what we do from there. We will be tracking through attendance what potential exposures are in place. And at that point, if and when it's deemed necessary by the Marion County Health Department and our nursing staff, we as an admin team will be reaching out to those families that were potentially exposed and outlining what the next steps are. I think it's important for our families to know and hear that we do not operate in a silo once this happens. We bring in our nursing staff immediately, and they in turn get the county health department involved. Once we turn it over to them, basically our job as an admin team is just to share information to those that need to hear that. So it's not really up to our admin team to make calls on who will be quarantined and for how long. That information is actually shared with us, and then in turn we share that out to those folks. Again, we're happy to answer specific questions about those situations when they arise, but if you don't hear from Mr. Thompson or one of the members of our admin team, then your student and or family were not exposed.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. That's extremely important. There is a statement, I guess, on there as well as yes, vaccinations are a mandate for educators. The rules behind processing that we are still waiting for. And when those rules come out, the district will have a plan to receive and accept and implement that mandate. All right. We'll wait just another second. Any other questions that were on the board that we can answer? If not, again, we will go back and see what information that we're receiving. Anything for the good, the order of the good, that everybody should hear? Patrick, Jody, James, updates, dates that we have up and coming, important dates.
We get to kick off the athletic season, the regular season tomorrow with home girls soccer against Mountain View. Our boys soccer program will be traveling over to Mountain View tomorrow. So those are regular season games. And then our cross country team will be in a meet tomorrow evening at Wilsonville. And our football teams will be, all three will be competing in jamborees tomorrow night. Those jamborees are on the road. But again, we do have girls soccer at home tomorrow at 3 p.m. against Mountain View. They will be a quality program. And for those that don't maybe know, our girls soccer team is quite the sight. So if you have the ability to come out to McGinnis at 3 o'clock, we would love to pack the house. Just make sure you bring your mask.
And I think we should throw out that homecoming is September 27th through October 2nd. And our leadership kids and Miss Basher are working on making it a good one, bringing us all back together. So I think that's important to get that out.
All right, Mr. Mulligan, any updates or any important dates that you have that we should share out?
None right now, just a big thank you. I know we have some of them on here, but for those that have, just make sure a big thank you to all of our counselors for the hard work on getting our schedules pulled together for our kiddos. So you should have, those that came through registration, gotten that draft schedule. There may be some changes. We do a little bit of class and course balancing. And a few other folks that had a couple little, there's always a little computer glitch here or there, or needing to make sure we have our credits in line for graduation. But definitely a huge shout out to the amazing counseling staff that we have, and then all of our amazing office folks that helped in organizing and handing out and making sure everyone came through registration with flying colors. So appreciated seeing everyone. Again, questions with schedules, ready for that first day, do contact your counselor. That's your first point of contact if you have any schedule related questions.
Thank you for that. I know James has something, but before you do, I also want to big shout out and thank you, Jody, for reminding us that our custodial staff and our maintenance staff have been tremendous through this. We stay late in the evenings early in the mornings. And as we utilize our facilities, nothing short of amazing. Our staff, our custodial staff and maintenance staff in upkeeping, cleaning, sanitizing, providing the appropriate PPE, and they themselves have also displayed just diligence in following all of the rules and orders necessary to keep our facility going. So hats off to those folks. If you guys know of those folks and see them around campus, please give them a shout out as well. Go ahead, James.
I was just going to share out, there were a couple quick follow-up questions to homecoming. Again, those dates are, so the homecoming week is September 27th through October 1st is the Monday through Friday. So Friday night, the 1st would be the football game, and then Saturday night, October 2nd would be the dance. At this point, we are full steam ahead with a plan to offer all of the typical homecoming activities that we always hope to. So as of right now, yes, there will be a bonfire that we're looking to have on the Thursday night prior to the game, because that Friday night will also be First Friday. And we are hoping that all of the attendees at our game, including our students, would then go downtown and help support our local businesses. And then Saturday night would be the dance. So at this time, homecoming is a full go. And until somebody tells us that we can't do that, we will be full steam ahead.
I wonder what a socially distanced dance looks like, Mr. Rice. We're going to be talking about that maybe a little bit. Of course, again, things may not look like they look like when you were in school, but maybe we'll have some kind of social event that emulates what once used to look like a dance.
Well, what we are also hoping for is, or planning on, is that these activities will take place outside. And that's early enough in the fall. It should be a beautiful night.
Do you want one question? Do you want students to bring their own disinfectant wipes? Absolutely, you may, but we will be providing for those who choose to use wipes in the classroom, as well as hand sanitizer as you enter the corridors, and we will have that provided. So it's not necessary for you to do so. But maybe we can ask Ms. Drescher how some of that plays out in the classroom and in the hallways as well.
Well, we restock those. This is where our custodial staff and our clerical staff work together. We have Oxivir wipes in every area, and those have to be replaced about every 2 to 3 days. And our custodial crew, our clerical staff goes around about every 1.5 to 2 days and restocks. And we have hand sanitizer, and our custodial crew fills that up every night because we have the larger ones. Plus, we also have them at every entryway that will be accessible. So these things are ready to go right now, in fact, and we will have extra masks in case someone like walks out and goes, oh, forgot my mask. We will have extra masks at the entrance as well.
Thank you so much. You know, I don't see any more questions. We definitely want to honor your time. We will be conducting another town hall next week. More updates will be coming. But before we let everyone go, I do, on a serious note, and this is a message that will be consistent throughout our district, is that we are not, no matter what your opinion is and what your values are, we are not here to change one's values. We're not here to make anyone feel uncomfortable. We are not here to indoctrinate others into what we feel is correct or our belief system. So I want to ensure that it is very clear that we respect, we tolerate, we understand differences. And as we move forward, we are all in this together. And I really, really thank everyone that has come through, everyone that I've seen so far, and all of the town hall meetings and board meetings where it was witnessed that there are clear differences in opinion, but there is the utmost respect for each other as humans. And I really, really appreciate that. And I think that Silverton and the Silver Falls District can be a model for the rest of the state and the rest of our country of how we handle ourselves and how we move forward together. So I thank you. It's a pleasure, a blessing, and a privilege to be here. And I really, really want to make sure that that message hits home to all of us. Any last parting words from the team? Thank you so much, guys. It's 7:41. Please don't hesitate to email us, call us. We're more than happy to answer the questions. I know we didn't answer every question, but we'll be getting to everyone as soon as we can. Thank you, guys, and have a great evening.